Secretary of State Tillerson had this to say about the president's remarks. Roll tape.
I think what the president was doing is sending a strong message to North Korea in language that Kim Jong-un would understand, because he doesn't seem to understand diplomatic language.
That's the Secretary of State on his way to, in fact, in Guam itself. Former Senator Tom Coburn, Republican from Oklahoma, joins us now. Sir, let me put it to you directly. I think that the ball is in China's court at this point. What say you?
Stuart, I would agree with that, but I think we've created that somewhat because we have. I listened to an interview of Donald Trump in 1999, I think it was, where he stated what needed to happen was a very forceful negotiation, if not an elimination of the threat. And we now have had 24 years of failed negotiation, failed diplomatic efforts. And you can thank China for that, because North Korea has essentially been a proxy for China in terms of causing trouble in that area of the world. So it is in China's court, and China can fix this if they want. The question is do they want to? And that's the $24 question. Nobody knows the answer to that.
I'm looking to the next step here. The North Koreans have issued a direct threat to attack Guam. Flat out, they'll attack. That's what they've said. I suggest that the next missile that they launch, whether it's short-term, long-term, doesn't matter, the next missile they launch, we have to shoot it down. We have no choice, and that will be the next step. What say you?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think what we have to do is we have to make sure that the Chinese know what we're getting ready to do before we do it, so that they're advised. Number two is whether they launch a missile or not, we need to be prepared, and I'm sure we are in terms of deployment of troops and the weapons of war, conventional weapons of war. And number three is shooting down missiles is hard. It's not easy. So if in fact our only response is to shoot down a missile and miss, then we have to have another response.
Is that what's happening right now with Secretary of State Tillerson in Guam, telling China, South Korea, and Japan, the next missile that flies, we're going to try to shoot it down? They're laying the groundwork for a shoot down. Is that possible?
Well, I think they know that. I think we're at that stage now, that if they want to continue to test, then we're going to have to start using the technology we have to eliminate the evaluation of whatever test they might put forward. I think even more threatening than that right now is the fact that they've armed significant fast boats with cruise missiles, because that's a threat to our Navy, and that's what we ought to be targeting in response to anything that they might do initially.
Okay. On a knife edge. Thanks very much, Mr. Senator Coburn. Always a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you, Stuart.